Well, as a monster storm, Hurricane Milton lashes Florida, killing at least 16 people. Where is the woman who wants to be the next president of the United States? Well, she's about as MIA as she was a week ago when Hurricane Helene killed more than 200 people. And where was she this time? Oh, she was having a laugh. And a beer, would you believe it, with a late-night TV host.
The last time I had beer was at a baseball game with Doug.
So cheers.
Cheers.
There you go. Ooh. That tastes like the beautiful city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Champagne and beers.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that you can see what the optics looks like there. But if that wasn't bad enough, Kamala Harris stumbled through a speech to the people of Florida before then covering her mouth, apparently to tell staff she was on a live broadcast.
We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Joining me now is Sky News contributor Beau Davidson. Beau, good to see you. People need leaders in times of crisis like this. What on earth was she thinking?
She wasn't thinking. That's the whole point. She's doing what bad advisors think for her. And that's the problem. I mean, you can kind of tell, Danica, by the way that she talks, that she doesn't think critically before she speaks. I used to be on this singing karaoke show, Danica, called The Singing Bee. I think it was actually popular in Australia. And there was this song that would play and you would see the words randomly shuffled on the screen, and you were trying to make sense of it. That's kind of what I feel like Kamala Harris is. You're hearing words that don't make sense, but you try to make sense of them because she personally can't make sense of them. But I think to be on a late night hacks show rather than being in North Carolina is truly unforgivable. There is no leadership there. She truly thinks that late night comedy is more important than people's lives and their losses. And I think that is tragic, it's unforgivable, it's unfathomable, and it's a disgrace.
Absolutely. And look, we know Kamala Harris loves to be down with the cool kids. She loves to give that impression that she understands youth. And this week she burdened us with a series of fluff interviews. Have a look at this.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
I have seen girls on the street walk up to men and be like, do you know where a tampon goes? Do you know how many tampons we use? Do you even know how, do you know what a X or Y or Z is of a part of our, and they don't know the answer.
I was the first vice president or president to ever in office go to a reproductive health care clinic.
Beau, what is the Democrats' strategy here? That The View, then she was on the Call Her Daddy podcast. Why the fluff media?
Is to try to make her likable, Danica, and they are failing miserably at that strategy. Kamala's own words write ads for Donald Trump, and he's using them right now. All you have to do is take Kamala at her own words. You don't have to say anything else and just run that over and over and over again, especially in these battleground states. And I got to tell you, that strategy is working. Kamala's strategy of going on all of these different fluff podcasts and TV shows is failing miserably because I think I told you this, Danica, actually, one of the last times we spoke. Give it time. Just give it time, let it marinate, and you will see, most voters will see, most Americans have seen that Kamala is a terrible leader. Americans have seen her for the past 3.5 years, and they know what she is. And the more time that goes by, the less they like.
Yeah, and look, the same can certainly be said for her VP pick, Tim Walz, who lied about his military history first, then lied about being in Tiananmen Square during the protest, and now is still struggling to give a straight answer. Have a look at this. He was on 60 Minutes.
You said, I'm a knucklehead at times. And I think you were referring to the time that you said that you were in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square unrest when you were not.
Yeah.
Is that kind of misrepresentation, isn't that more than just being a knucklehead?
I think folks know who I am, and I think they know the difference between someone expressing emotion, telling a story, getting a date wrong rather than a pathological liar.
Beau, I've got to say, this guy is a worldwide embarrassment. Why does he keep deflecting?
Walz is the second punch of the 1-2 punch embarrassment that is the Harris-Walz ticket. He is an embarrassment. I'm glad you said global embarrassment, Danica, because that's true. It's not just embarrassing for we Americans. It's embarrassing for everyone worldwide to see this man attempt to win the vice presidentship. You know, knucklehead? No. A liar. And the thing that I take umbrage with is this, Danica. He keeps saying this over and over again. People know who I am. People know who I am. No, they don't. And the reason they don't know who you are is because you are a habitual liar. Everything you say does not come true. He has no honesty to cling to. And, you know, there's this kind of catchphrase that goes around we hear nowadays that says, speak your truth. No, there is your truth and there's the truth. And unfortunately, Tim Walz has an incredible dilemma and problem with the truth.
Let's talk about the latest polling, an Ipsos poll of voters in 7 swing states back Donald Trump's experience over the current establishment, which includes, of course, Kamala Harris. Beau, what does this polling tell us, do you think?
I think what it tells us is what we hoped, that this is about issues and it's about policy. That's what it comes down to. And these 7 states are no different from any of our 50 great states. It also shows to me, Danica, that the Kamala honeymoon is over. Every interview, and you've played several of them, gets worse and worse for her. You know, Trump just returned to Butler, Pennsylvania for his second rally there after his assassination attempt. You had an unbelievable crowd, unbelievable energy. He's raised $2 million for hurricane relief. And yet Kamala is going on a sex podcast. There are 2 very, very different styles of leadership. And what people are seeing is they're both proven in a way. Donald Trump proved what he could do for 4 years. Kamala has proven that she cannot lead for the last 3.5 years. So I think these differences are playing out and becoming more and more stark every single day. So you're seeing 2 very, very different leadership styles. And for those people who are hurting on the economy, on inflation, on crime, we have some terrible crime in our cities. The differences are becoming that much more stark, and I think that's finally settling in.
It certainly is a stark contrast. Beau Davidson, good to have you on. Thank you for joining me as always.
My pleasure, Danica.